We are back. It is finally episode 61. And I say that gently because I may have said that last week as well, but it is finally episode 61 of the We Are One, You Are Two PlayStation podcast. I'm your host for all 61 episodes, Rob Fanzo. Joining me, my co-host, the man, you need not know his name, but I'll give it to you anyway, Matt Rhodes.
Hey-o.
I accidentally almost said I'm your host, Matt Rhodes, because I was thinking about your name when I was going to say it.
You're right.
So
right.
I don't know why I almost did that. That would have been embarrassing.
That would have been very weird.
Yeah,
I would have corrected you very quickly, though.
I would have corrected myself very quickly. You probably wouldn't have had time to correct me. Matt, we're going to jump straight into it because you've got places to be and things to do, and I've got places to be and things to defeat, such as Sekiro. And so you're actually going somewhere entertaining tonight. I'm not.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of get this out of the way. But let's talk about what we always like to talk about to get our game show started here, to energize ourselves and talk a little bit about what we've been playing.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, as always, I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, well, as always, I've been playing Fortnite. A little bit of Rocket League, just a smidge.
Smidge.
The Division 2, I've been playing that. You and I played that a little bit this week.
Oh, was that this week?
The Division 2?
Yeah.
We played that this week, did we not? I think it was this week.
I don't know. It blends together.
Yeah. And then, an oldie but a goodie, I started Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh, you finally started that?
Yeah, and it was trippy, man. I only played
so good.
I only played like a half hour of it, but it was real trippy because it tells you to like play with like headphones, surround sound headphones if you can, and it's nuts.
It is. I loved it. I platinumed it. I couldn't stop playing it. It takes about 8 hours or so.
Yeah.
And I legit couldn't wait for it to come out on physical copy so I could own it, and I haven't bought it yet. But
yeah,
it's a really good game.
Yeah, it really. Just how like the voices are in your head already. It's I don't know. It's like it gives you a little bit of anxiety. You know what I mean?
It does.
I'm just like, what's gonna happen? Like, it like gives me the sense of like of fear, like something's gonna happen, but I don't think it is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, it gets you all anxious. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What's gonna happen? What's gonna get? Just like messes with my brain.
The shameful part about that whole thing, and the thing that I kind of am bummed about, is that we'll never get anything else from Ninja Theory on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because they moved over to what's that beautiful thing called? Oh, Xbox.
Xbox, yeah.
Yeah, that thing. So, that we speak not of here. No. Good for them, though.
Yeah, no.
I'm happy that they did that. Anyway, what else you been playing? Anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much it, actually. I've been
short list.
Yeah.
No Rocket League this week?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Just a smidgen, but...
Okay. Well, I guess I'll talk about what I've been playing.
Yes,
then.
what have you been playing, Robert?
Well, I actually played this a couple of weeks ago on my Vita. I'm going to start with the minor game that I played a little bit yesterday and today. Metagal, which is like a Mega Man knockoff by Radica Games.
Okay.
And I thought, I played it on my Vita and I didn't really finish it, but I got the platinum for it because you can actually platinum it in like 20 minutes probably.
Nice.
Less than that if you're really good. But it has Mega Man levels, and so I thought I'll play some more of it. I thought I'm going to play it on my PS4 because it's cross-buy, cross-download, and I'll get more trophies.
Yeah.
Right? I'll double plat, and I don't usually double dip like that. I hate doing that, but I thought, why not?
You hate double dipping,
really
Robert, for platinum trophies? That doesn't sound like you.
Believe it or not, I do. And so I thought I would just go ahead and do it, though, because I know with playing Sekiro that I haven't had a whole lot of time to really keep my trophy income coming, and I love those little dings, as you know.
Yeah.
The performance on the PS4 is terrible.
Oh, really?
On the Vita, it runs so well.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've played Mega Man or old like Castlevania games. You get hit, your character like slides back or falls back or whatever it is. On Metagal on PS4, you get hit, your character disappears off the screen.
Wow.
For like probably a good, I'm not exaggerating, probably between 2 and 4 seconds.
Wow.
And so I'm trying to fight this enemy that has just bumped me once on like a ledge, like a little tiny platform.
Yeah.
And I have no idea where I'm at. Well, I can see my bullets. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure that my bullets were disappearing too. And so here I am fighting, trying to not fall and die. I died multiple times falling off the ledge, the platform I was on, trying to fight an enemy, because every time they would hit me or whatever, because you got plenty of health, you can get several hits, I would fall.
Yeah.
Because I'd have no idea where I was. I was jumping around the screen. I had no idea where I was at.
Huh.
And so it's super broken in that way. It's kind of disappointing because on Vita, there were none of those issues. It was totally fine. And I noticed some lag a little bit too. That might have been because I was remote playing it. I don't know. But either way, it was rough.
Yeah.
I also downloaded Super Weekend Mode, and I'm going to try that one out. That's another Ratlica Games production, I guess, if you want to call it that. And so I'm going to try that one out. I guess we did play some D2 because I wrote it down on my list. I need to get back to Omen Sight. I wrote that down. I just need to get back to. But of course, and I wanted to start Surge this week as well.
Right.
But the biggest thing that I've been playing is Sekiro. And no spoilers here, but I'm at the point in the story where you have to make a decision that branches you between one of the 4 paths of an ending.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to actually save scrub. I've got my little USB drive right here in front of me. I'm going to go ahead and save my game right before I get to, or right after I defeat this next boss, before I have to make that decision, because 3 out of the 4 endings can actually be done on this playthrough. But then for the 4th one, I'm going to have to do a new game plus playthrough. And I want to platinum it. So I'm going to speed run it, I think, next time. I'm going to run through all the enemies and just run straight to the mandatory bosses because a lot of the collectibles you get in the first playthrough carry over to the second playthrough.
Okay.
So I won't have to go defeat the mini bosses for like health upgrades. That's why you were defeating all the mini bosses in the first playthrough to get all the prayer beads to get health upgrades.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and do that so that I can speed through it, and maybe instead of taking 45 hours to finish Sekiro, I'll take like 3 or 4 to get that final ending.
Okay.
Because I did look at my time tonight before I started, and I'm at 42 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. Which it's flown by. I actually I thought I was actually only at like 10 or 15. I was like, I feel cheated. And then I looked and I was like, oh no, I've enjoyed it this much.
Yeah.
Because I forgot there was a day I played it for like 7 hours straight.
Right.
And so I guess I kind of blacked that out in my time frame. Because that would have been 3/4 of my time that I thought I had played.
Yeah, of course.
If I thought I only played 12 hours. So, but that's where I'm at with all of that. But that's really it. So that's all I've got in terms of playing. Shall we move into the news?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so this is the PSN-news, and we're going to touch on a couple stories. I apologize, I don't have any in our doc, so I'm just going to tell you about them, which I usually do anyway.
That's fine, yeah.
The first one up is people were panicking this past week over Ghost of Tsushima's progress because people saw a narrative writer job posting for Sucker Punch to help flesh out Ghost of Tsushima's open world. And so they panicked and saw this whole thing that said, need somebody who can write high quality dialogue under tight deadlines for a diverse cast of characters who live in the world of 13th century Japan. Well, clearly that's Ghost of Tsushima.
Right.
But that also means that probably they're just getting started on the story, which is so weird because they hired lead writers a few years ago, according to this story. And maybe they're just trying to flesh out the sandbox of like some of the extra stuff.
Could be.
So I'm not going to panic, but that clearly means we're not getting Ghost of Tsushima this year, or probably even next, would be my guess.
Yeah, it'd be a little weird if we got it this year.
Yeah. We hired some guys to flesh out the NPCs, but don't worry, it's coming out in December.
Right.
So we'll see what happens there. However, I did learn something interesting this week. Miyazaki, when he does his From Software games, when he's done Dark Souls, not Ghost of Tsushima, Sekiro, things like that, he actually doesn't tell any of the people who are working on the game the entire plot.
Wow.
They develop the entire game. I read this in an interview this week without actually knowing what the whole plot line is or all of the lore. He just tells them in bits and pieces and helps them fill it in as they go along.
That's weird.
And people love the lore in those games.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love it. All right, second one up pertains to you and me, The Division 2. Dev shares a long list of update plans for this week, and it ties into some of the stuff. I was looking at some of it. The lengthy list of topics, this is via Push Square, mentions that they're going to fix or adjust overly aggressive enemies, weapons, talent, and skill balancing, player survivability, bullet sponge foes, and much, much more. And what I think is interesting about that is you and I both talked about how you can get screwed over sometimes in fights.
Yeah.
And like it seems like you get kicked way back to where you respawn. And so hopefully they're going to adjust some of that. But last time you and I played, we also talked a little bit about how you and I had noticed that when we got shot and we were near dying, it seemed like we didn't die instantly. Like the bullets started missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah, it seemed like that to me. I don't know. I mean, I felt that like I lost my armor and my life real quick, but as soon as I got down to that last little bit, it was like Assassin's Creed mode where, it takes forever for you to die at the very last little sliver.
Yeah, and I don't know if they had already patched something in and they're going to adjust it further or what, but you and I had kind of guessed about that. And so we'll see what happens. I'm really happy with the way they're listening to fans, though, and making all of this adjustment stuff. Every week it seems like there's patch notes for the Division 2.
Yeah.
So Ubisoft really knows what they're doing. Supermassive Games really knows what they're doing. They're, the rest of the games as service stuff we talked about a few weeks ago on one of the podcasts, they could really learn from that.
For sure.
The third story, speaking of Ubisoft, CEO Yves Guillemot, I said Guillermo because I was thinking, what's his name? Del Toro. Guillermo Del Toro. Yeah. On Splinter Cell. He did talk about Splinter Cell this week.
Okay.
In an interview. And he said that with IGN, that he, quote, said, when you create a game, you have to make sure you'll come up with something that will be different enough from what you did before. Last time we did a Splinter Cell, we had lots of pressure from the fans saying, don't change it. Don't do this. Don't do that. So some of the teams were more anxious to work on the brand. And then he continued to say, there are some things and some people that are now looking at the brand and taking care of it. At one point, you will see something, but I can't say more than that. And so what it sounds like to me is they don't want to screw up Splinter Cell because they know the high expectations that are there for it. Mm-hmm. And that gamers' high expectations have actually handicapped their potential to make a brand new Splinter Cell game.
Right. That's sad.
It is sad, but it does sound like that they recognize that it's not going to be something to take lightly. And so they're not just going to throw this into the wind and say, you know what, let's just do this with it. And so I really hope to see that they'll do something right with it, because I loved Splinter Cell back in the day.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Splinter Cell. I can still envision certain levels, basically where to go from like point A to point B in my head. That's how much I think I played Splinter Cell as a kid.
I don't think I played it at all.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh. I don't remember ever playing Splinter Cell, I don't think.
You're missing out. So good. It was one of my favorite series. Number 4, I believe I'm on number 4, right? We're going to say I'm on number 4 because I believe so.
Yeah.
4 and 5 will tie together because they both deal with Guerrilla. First one is Guerrilla appears to be making a multiplayer game. Yeah. And this comes from, again, Push Square. Sony suggested a while back that they'd like to do a little bit more in the online space. And so the Dutch developer seems to be busy beavering away on something new to keep PlayStation Plus subscribers engaged. And so they hired back the guy who worked on Killzone 2, as well as who directed Rainbow Six Siege. So, rumor being, that it is a heavy multiplayer-focused game because of some job listings that were uncovered and things like that. And the other thing about this is Guerrilla now has over 400 employees, so that's more than enough to send half of them over to a new game that might be like a new Killzone multiplayer type thing, and the other half to be on our other story, which was that the Star Wars actress Janina Gavankar, who played Versio in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and she played a character in Horizon Zero Dawn's DLC, more or less confirmed a sequel is in production, and she said, quote, "It's incredible. Wait until you see the sequel. You're gonna die. I know some secrets. You're gonna die." She posted that on Reddit. So they're probably splitting the two teams. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, that's gonna be a PS5 launch game. Mark my words.
Yeah.
They'll use the full, graphic fidelity and space to help sell PlayStation 5s with that.
Yeah.
That will be like a launch window, right, within a few months.
Right.
I think that the Killzone type game will also be a launch PS5 game as well. Maybe that's why one's a launch window and one's a launch game. Because Killzone, actually, if you remember, I think the last Killzone was a PS4 launch game, was it not?
Yeah.
And then...
what the heck was it called?
Killzone 3, I think it was.
Yeah.
Whatever that was called. And then Killzone 2, I think, was a PS3 launch game, wasn't it? I might be wrong on that. I'd have to look at Killzone 2. But they have a habit of liking to use Guerrilla Games as a studio for that kind of stuff. Let me look.
Killzone Shadowfall.
2009. Shadowfall was it for 4.
Was for the 4, yeah.
Okay, and Killzone 2 was released February 2009, which is 2 years after PS3.
Okay.
So, but either way,
Shadowfall
I think
was definitely the...
Yeah.
It says November 15th, which would have... 2013, which would have been...
Yeah, because I think, PS4 came out the 14th or 15th. So, either way, it's going to be I think one of those is going to be a launch game. I think Horizon will be launch window. I think that a Killzone type game might be, or it might be the other way around if they work on something new that's not Killzone related, which I wouldn't be shocked if they brought back Killzone. I don't think they have to worry about Battle Royale because even though it would be multiplayer focused, Sean Layden did go on record a few months ago saying that he wasn't really interested in the Battle Royale space. They wanted multiplayer games, but they felt like that wasn't their thing. And so unless he, doesn't know what he's talking about, they've changed their mind. We'll see. That's really it for the news. And it's not it for the news because there's two things we're going to talk about.
Yep.
And so let's go ahead and move into the talk, and we can talk about what those will be.
Sweet.
So this is the talk. We're going to go ahead and discuss two things today. One is PSN name changes, and then the other one just revealed today, so it's fresh on my brain. Star Wars had this little thing reviewed today and released. I watched it live, actually. I watched the live stream for a little bit for Jedi The Fallen Order. And so I'm going to flip the coin and let you decide what you want to talk about first, Star Wars or PSN.
I believe you meant revealed. You said reviewed. Star Wars reviewed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes, revealed.
Yeah. Let's go with name changes first.
Okay. So it's finally here.
It is finally here, Robert.
After 10 years of begging,
yes,
Sony has let us change our PlayStation names.
However, is it worth it?
That is a great question. How much do you know about what's going on with it?
I mean, a little bit. Only a little bit. I have read a little bit of an article about, I noticed a post on Sony's website about like what games have issues with the name change.
Yes.
And of course, there's a list of like, kind of issues, and then there's a list of like critical issues.
Yes.
So I don't know. I mean, I didn't recognize any of the games except for maybe one or two of like the critical issue games, and I definitely don't play either or any of them.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't know. I kind of like mine. I just don't. I guess my thing is I'm afraid that it'll affect my trophies, which is what I thought was one of the issues in the beginning.
And so, yeah, let me clarify that because there's a lot of people and a lot of misinformation that could go around with that. It will mess with games that are supposedly made before April 1st, 2018. There are one or two exceptions that have been discovered since then. One of them being, I think, MLB, maybe. The MLB series just in general. Mm-hmm. As well as, I can't remember the other one. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, I will look that up and find out for people. What they were talking about with this as well is that it doesn't impact, my understanding is it doesn't impact your trophies earned. You won't lose them.
Right.
They won't stop syncing to the server. None of that's going to happen. What it may happen with is it can, with some games, cause your name to no longer be on the leaderboard. Like if you're a leaderboard in like Call of Duty somewhere, like the top ranked player in the world or whatever, you may lose that.
Yeah.
There are other ones where high scores and stuff like that will be lost, of course. Those are also leaderboard related. The other issue that I saw with it this week that some people were talking about is that it also can, with certain older games, might have a hard time recognizing your save data. And so that's where they start to get sticky, right? Like Little Big Planet 3 is an example of a game that's completely broken. Like it won't recognize your save data, it won't load the game correctly or what. It's just completely busted, whatever's going on with it. However, the majority of the stuff seemed to be related to leadership or leaderboard stuff for most of them. And so that's why I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Okay.
Because, it's not that scary. It will change on your PS4. It will change on your PS3. I've read that it will change on your Vita. You can only do it through your PS4 or your web browser, though. You can't do it on your 3 or your Vita. They're not supported. The first time is free. After that, it's $9.99 to change, unless you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber. Then it's $5. You can change as many times as you want. You can revert back to your previous ID without losing anything. And so if you do that, I said doo-doo. If you do decide to make those changes.
Because I immediately thought that. I was like, nah, I won't say it. But then you said it, so.
I always say it. You can revert back to your old ID. And so if for some reason it corrupts some sort of save data, or if, well, not corrupts, but won't load, I guess. If for some reason it, you're worried about removing off a leaderboard, you can actually reclaim your previous one. It can't be claimed by anybody. All you gotta do is, and it's free to change back.
Right.
So you can lose in-game progression, some in-game functionality, inability to access DLC, and that's really the biggest thing. And they did have a list, and this is what I think people were complaining about, how long it took them to reveal this and to leak it, or like trickle it out, I guess. I think it's because they were testing all these games.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. There was those rumors of those issues. So I feel like they were going to launch it, and then they're like, oh wait, maybe we should really check and see how this works on as many games as we can, so we have at least a list or at least an idea of of what might happen.
Yes. And so I think that they were smart about this, and in looking back, hindsight, they were really smart about the way they did this. People have been begging for it, and it should have been done a lot sooner, but because the infrastructure wasn't there, they knew that if they did this, they didn't want to do this and just release it, and then it backfire, and people be like, I was top ranked player in Onrush in the world, and now, I've lost this, and see that. And so Onrush was, by the way, the one that was June 2018, and they said that anything after April 2018 would be fine.
Yeah.
And so that is the one game. Disc Jam, which you and I played a little bit of,
we
I
did.
think.
No, I don't think did we play it together? I don't know, but
no, I think we might have both played it, but not together. We talked about that.
Yeah.
It is one of the ones that is affected, but if you're on the leaderboard for that, you might be one of 100 people still playing it. Everybody's Golf, Just Dance, Little Big Planet 3, all of the MLBs from 14 to 16, Golf Club 2, and Worms Battleground. Those are the ones that basically will screw up maybe your saves or your other issues. So, but I like that you can revert back. So if it does get screwed up, you can fix it.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm worried about is a PSN profile user on the website psnprofiles.com.
Yeah.
From what I understand, they don't have it so that it recognizes your new name yet. Ooh. And so your trophies will stop syncing to that profile website if you like to use that, like I do, to look at your stats.
You certainly do. I know you do.
Yeah, I've checked out my profile probably like 1,000 times on there. Just because I like seeing when I've earned them and what my average is. It's just fun, stupid stats stuff I like.
Yeah, of course.
And it also helps me sometimes see, like, okay, I think this trophy is really rare, but then I go on there where like people are clear trophy hunters and like 70% of people have it versus 30% of the whole network, and you're like, oh, it must not be that hard to get, or it just takes a little bit of work because these people are the ones who love getting that stuff.
Exactly.
So, but anyway, are you going to do yours?
I'm going to use you as my guinea pig, pal.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, and we did talk about this. I think I am going to do mine.
Yeah.
The problem I have with it is, the PSN profile, so I'm going to wait because they said they had a fix coming up in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah.
The other reason I want to wait is because I actually don't know what I want to change it to. Do I really want to be Fluffy Muffin for the next 10 years and then decide that, I don't like it after 2 months and change it again?
Yeah.
What would 65-year-old me say is what I'm asking.
Well, see,
myself.
Here's the thing, though. How do you plan for it? Do you plan for it saying, I don't want to spend $5 to change it again, so I want to go with something I'm really going to enjoy for the rest of my life? Or do you say, screw it, I'll just change it in 2 months anyways and spend $5? Right,
exactly. Well, I'm also one of those people that I could just throw anything willy-nilly in there and just to change it, because I'm okay with mine, but I hate the numbers afterwards, and I kind of want to find, and I think that's the other thing, I really actually want to find one that has no numbers.
Why do you hate the numbers?
I just don't know. I just don't like numbers after any username. It just drives me nuts for whatever reason, because it feels like...
So your numbers aren't meaningful to you?
I mean, 13 is my lucky number, right?
Right.
And 29 was Flurry.
Sure.
And so maybe that's, I don't have a problem with it. It's just, I don't like any username having numbers. If I can avoid them, I will. There's something clean about all letters.
I mean, mine was just an age at the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can almost flip that out if you to it now. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I do want to change it. I just want something without that. And from the other thing I will warn people against, somebody I read on Reddit went to change theirs. They typed something in, said it was available, and then they accidentally backed out of the browser. Mm-hmm. And then they went back to use that username again, and it said that it was taken, but they knew it wasn't because they had just done it. Right. And so it was like giving them an error message. And so if you're going to go through with it, make sure you go all the way through with it, because if you back out of any of the things once you start checking, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
But that makes sense.
Well, here's the other thing. What if you think of something that you really want, you really like are enthralled with, and then it's not available?
Yeah, that's true.
Would you add numbers to it?
No. And that's why I think I want to come up with a list of like 3 or 4, and I think I want to tie them into my favorite games of all time.
Okay.
So something clever. So we'll see.
Okay.
I haven't decided yet. Maybe if someone wants to write in and give me some suggestions, I'll go for it. We'll see.
God's Horizon.
Yeah, God's Horizon. I'll have to figure something out though. I was playing around with some ideas, so I'm gonna come up with a list of usernames and maybe I'll have people vote on it.
God's Horizon Zero Creed.
That would be yours, huh?
Probably. Well, probably. I don't know.
I feel like yours would be like Fort League, like Fortnite and Rocket League, combined, or Rocket Knight.
Rocket Knight, yeah.
That would be appropriate for you, Rocket Knight. All right,
Rocket Knight Dawn.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited that it's here, but and I did a poll online, and 45% of people said that they are going to plan on changing it. The other, I had like 20% that weren't sure, and another like 30% that said that they weren't going to do it. Now that's the opposite of some polls I've seen online where people said no, they hadn't planned on it, they weren't doing it, etc., where it was swung the other direction. And so maybe it's just among my group of Twitter sphere users that I got that information. All right. That's all I got to say about PSN name changes. I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
I'm glad it's here.
Yeah.
The other big thing that I really want to talk about is the beautiful trailer we watched today for Jedi Fallen Order.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know your thoughts on it, because I wrote down some notes about it, and I'll kind of relay those in a moment.
But I didn't know I was supposed to take notes. Dang. All right. Well,
I wrote down notes because I didn't want to forget.
Always the consummate professional.
Well, because I forget a lot.
I don't know. I mean, it seemed pretty interesting. Of course, they showed the wall run mechanic that everyone loves from Titanfall 2. So
I'm glad I'm not the only one that caught that.
So that's going to be there. I thought it was a good trailer. I would like to see someone's analysis or breakdown of it to see like the things that I missed, or maybe I'll watch it again later just to kind of comb through it a little bit. But I don't know. I think it's going to be good. It looks pretty epic. But
you think so?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be pretty awesome. I have a feeling people will be disappointed with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
what makes you think that?
I'll enjoy it. I think Respawn will do really well with it. But because it's Star Wars. Everyone always has issues with Star Wars games.
That is true.
There's so many Star Wars fans out there that you can't please them all. And there's so many opinions about how it should be done or how things should be done within the Star Wars universe or within, the game itself, that it's just not going to please everybody. And look at what was it, Force Awakens 2?
Yeah, which this game, some people are comparing it to that, just based on the...
Yeah, it immediately
Force Unleashed, you mean?
Force Unleashed, yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, Force Unleashed 2. But I immediately thought of that game. Like, as soon as I watched the trailer, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, this is like Force Unleashed 2, basically. So, I mean, I loved that game. I believe I platinumed it, and I beat it relatively quickly, but that was one of the biggest things that people had issue with, was it was like an 8-hour game.
Yeah, I heard shorter than that even, so...
Yeah, it was like a AAA game that was like 8 hours. So, people were peeved about it, but especially that game, it looked gorgeous, especially for the time.
Right.
But... and the things that you could do with it were, I don't know, I thought it was really cool how they did things with, you brought down the frickin' Star Destroyer with the Force. I don't know. I'm sure that there will be amazing things in it, and I know I will enjoy it. But I also know that people will be disappointed with it.
Right. Okay.
What about you, Robert? What do you think of it?
I do think I agree with you that people will be disappointed with it no matter what.
Yeah.
I did see a lot of people in the stream complain today, mostly on Twitch, about the lack of gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
Or gameplay in the trailer, and I understand that, and particularly because I was more shocked that it was going to come out in November of this year.
Yeah.
I'm glad, though, because Respawn did that with Apex Legends.
Right.
And it worked out really well for them. And so I think by holding back a little bit and simply telling us, look, it's single player, it's going to be no microtransactions, it's going to be, a full experience, I think that was enough.
Right.
I also looked at the kid immediately and I thought, oh, that's the guy from Shameless, the redhead protagonist.
I knew I recognized that dude.
Yeah, some people know him from Gotham, but I recognize him from Shameless, and I was like, oh, interesting.
Right.
So my thought was, I'm excited. I liked the trailer. I watched it a couple times. I got the same impression as you that wall running is going to be a big part of it.
Oh, yeah.
And that makes sense. They're good at that. So I think the combat will be fast. And then I started thinking, I actually wouldn't mind if it was like Sekiro, because the sword play that's in Sekiro would be fantastic with lightsabers. Right? Okay. So you could have like that quick parry, deflect, attack system.
Right.
So I'm hoping they do something with that. I'll be curious, because that would be new territory for Respawn. If you think about Titanfall, and Titanfall 2 is first-person shooters, to do a third-person action game that includes elements of sword combat or lightsaber combat in this case, would be cool to see. And so I'm hoping it's third person. I got the feeling based on the trailer and based on the what's the word I'm looking for? The poster that they released, that it's going to be a third-person action game. I do think that it'll be successful. I think no matter what, it's going to make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking that it'll be somewhere probably in the mid 80s in terms of Metacritic scores and reviews. I think it'll be well received, but not something like Sekiro where it's in the 90s because it's just incredible.
Right.
I think it is going to upset some people, and that's fine too. But I don't think it'll be as bad as Force Unleashed 2. I don't think people will be that angry towards it.
Yeah.
I think this is EA's first opportunity to finally do something with the Star Wars license that matters. Since Battlefront and Battlefront 2 were both really, especially Battlefront 2 was really panned with people. And so I'm kind of excited to see what they can do with that. From what I've understood too, Vince Zampella from Respawn, when they acquired them, I heard or read something recently where he got kind of a seat on EA's like board, and that's why their studio is able to do what they want and doesn't seem as controlled as some of the other EA studios are.
Oh, okay.
But I also can't help but think that they looked at what they did with Titanfall 2 and they showed what they did with Apex Legends, and they're finally at this point where they're like, you know what, we trust you.
Right.
And so this is what Star Wars 1313 should have been, that Amy Hennig was working on. And I wonder how much of that DNA is mixed in with this as well. And so I'd be curious to know that, maybe like afterwards. I am really glad it's coming out this year.
Yeah.
It is the first major title, I think, that's been announced for the fall. Not that other titles haven't been announced, but, you know, we know rumors of Assassin's Creed. We know rumors of Call of Duty. We know rumors of other games. This is the first major one that has a date.
Right.
And so now I wonder how that's going to play with some of their other stuff. So how, you know, when's Call of Duty going to come out? Is this going to impact that? Because they seem to shoot themselves in the foot sometimes with the stuff that they've released stuff around, like Titanfall 2. I think they shot themselves in the foot releasing it around Battlefield and Call of Duty and things like that, especially since one of them was under their control anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't need a gameplay trailer right now. That's the other thing I'm saying. I know that's a hot take. I didn't need one because, to me, guess what? You're going to get one probably in another 2 months during E3. You're probably going to get like an Xbox, gameplay reveal. And doing it now only causes people to scrutinize it and spend more time critiquing it.
Right.
Get the announcement out of the way, make it exciting, save it. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, clearly why they did it at the Star Wars Celebration stuff.
Yeah. Just that was enough for me today to know it existed, to know it was real, to know it was coming out this year. And now I can be hyped for the next several months. And then sometime over the summer, to really whet my appetite, give me a 10-minute gameplay trailer of like whatever section you want so that people can go, you know what? Yes. We trust, and I trust Respawn.
Right.
That's the other thing, too. Yeah. I love Titanfall 2, and I love Apex Legends, and so I have no qualms. They haven't screwed me up the last two games, so I can't imagine that they're going to do any different with this one because they've clearly been working on this one for a while if they're releasing it now.
Yeah.
So they know what they're doing. Good for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Any other thoughts on that?
No. I just kind of rewatched the trailer a little bit, and I noticed a little R2-D2 action, but...
Yeah, and I noticed the Force, and I'm excited to see how they handle that because he stops that blade behind him.
Right, exactly.
And I'm kind of curious to see how they handle the Force element of it, too, because I was thinking of Remedy's Control that's coming out in August.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Control, she can very much pick things up and throw them, right? And she can pick things up and use them as shields. And so Remedy has their own version of the Force in Control, and that game looks amazing. And so if you take this beautiful game and you can apply that Force in a similar way where, you can throw enemies, you can pull weapons off of them and use them, whatever it might be, I think we'll be fine. Stop environment objects, things like that.
Right.
So I think we'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I really do.
Yeah, me too. All right. Well, that's good enough for me. Shall we move on?
Yeah, fine with me.
All right. Let's go ahead and move into the drop and what we call see you soon.
See you soon.
All right. So this is an exciting week. Some good stuff coming out and some garbage as always, but hey, you can't, when they were shuffling for gold during the California gold rush, they got a lot of dirt in those pans, it wasn't all gold. So we're going to have to
shuffling for gold. They just shuffle around on their feet for gold.
Yeah, shuffling. I lost the terminology. I lost the term.
Panning for gold?
Yeah, I thought that, and then I almost said panhandling, and I was like, that's not right either.
Well, they were pretty poor, so they were kind of they were handling the pan in search of gold.
Is that the origin of panhandling?
It might be.
What is the origin of pan? I mean, maybe. Seriously, what is it?
I mean, you may have accidentally
stumbled
upon the actual origin of panhandling.
That'd be great. I'll have to put that on the internet, even if it's not true.
I mean, I can see it being a thing.
Oh, no, it's attested from 1849, perhaps from the notion of your arm stuck out like a panhandle or one who handles a beggar's pan.
Okay.
Almost. Close enough.
So close. Yeah, all right, anyway. So far.
Let's move on to the drop. I'm going to point out a couple of these as we go along. I'll start, though. Anniversary Collection Arcade Classics. It's out this week, 4/18. Konami starts its 50th anniversary celebration. Oh, they're making games again? I thought they were doing pachinko machines. With its first installment of the Anniversary Collection series of all-times classics. This includes 8 arcade masterpieces of the 80s, from Nemesis to Haunted Castle, enhanced with modern features. Cool.
Fun. Crossovers by Pogi.
I swear we read this last week.
More of them. Well, I feel like they just keep coming out with the game. Anyways, solve crossword puzzles, one letter at a time. Crossovers are little crosswords with just one letter missing. Find the letters, then unscramble them to solve the cryptic clue. Crossovers by Pogi contains 200 crossword clues and 200 terrible jokes as a quote-unquote reward for solving each one.
I'd be in on that if they were like dad jokes.
Yes.
I could use 200 dad jokes. That'd be great.
Heck yeah, dude.
All right. Dark Quest 2 comes to PS4. Dark Quest 2 is a turn-based RPG where you control a party of heroes on your epic quest to defeat the evil sorcerer and his minions. Each map is designed to test your party's strength, courage, and sanity as you go deeper and deeper into the castle, seeking the evil sorcerer.
Ooh.
I can't wait for this next one.
Alrighty. Ghost Giant. PSVR digital retail. As the Ghost Giant, you are the protector of the lonely little boy, Lewis, who's in dire need of a helping hand. Build trust with Lewis by helping him overcome big or even gigantic obstacles. Discover Lewis's world, meet its eccentric inhabitants, and experience a heartwarming and sometimes heartbreaking story.
Nice.
Yeah, that seems pretty cool. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's actually got really high reviews, and one of the reviews I read said something like it was one of PSVR's must-have titles next to Astrobot and like Beat Saber.
Wow.
Yeah, so really high praise for it. This one you and I got to play. I don't know how much it is, but it looks sick. God's Trigger out PS4 digital. Slay enemies with speed and precision in an over-the-top show of blood and explosions, dodging bullets and making split-second decisions. Play solo or with others. When an angel and a demon team up to kill their way into heaven and stop the apocalypse, bullets will fly and blood will be shed.
Ooh.
It's a top-down, almost like a top-down fighter bullet hell thing. It just looks amazing.
Well, who knows? Maybe God's Trigger's kept in Heaven's Vault, which is our next title. You like that segue?
Yeah.
Heaven's Vault, PS4 Digital. An archaeological narrative adventure with an entire hieroglyphic language to decipher. Sail the rivers of space, explore lost moons, uncover ancient artifacts, and piece together a 5,000-year-old secret. Every answer feeds into a story that adapts around your actions. Will you uncover the path to Heaven's Vault?
Nice.
That actually sounds pretty cool, actually.
It does, actually. I might check that one out.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know who's not going to Heaven's Vault?
Oh, who?
The Iron Snout, coming out PS4, PS Vita, digital cross-buy. I saw you and I one-upped it. Once upon a time, pigs would have to build a house of bricks to keep the wolves at bay. But not anymore. In Iron Snout, its hero Piggy has taken up learning martial arts, and now it's the wolves that need to keep their distance. Because in this bonkers button-mashing beat-em-up, bacon is off the menu for good.
Ooh, well, I see your Iron Snout, and I raise you my time at Porsche. PS4 Digital Retail. Start a new life in the enchanting town of Porsche. Restore your paused, neglected workshop to its former glory by fulfilling commissions, growing crops, raising animals, and befriending the quirky inhabitants of this charming post-apocalyptic land.
Wow, after growing all those crops and raising all those animals, I'm going to need a nurse. So I'm going to buy Nurse Love Syndrome, RE Therapy, PS Vita, digital out 418. I think this one's one of those censored ones on because it's quite scandalous from what I hear, if I'm thinking of the right one. Meet cheerful Karoi Sawi, fresh out of nursing school. She joins Yuragahama Hospital. Surviving a near-death experience as a child left her with the desire to become a nurse.
Wow. Well, if there weren't nurses in the world, our world is ended. Which is our next title. PS4 Digital, out 4/18. A new masterpiece of narrative visual novel storytelling. Follow Judgment 7, a team of eccentric developers who work on their latest game in augmented reality. On a summer's day, their AR headset let them catch a glimpse of Tokyo in ruins. Could it really be the end of the world? Ooh.
That would be cool in VR, actually.
Yeah, that would be.
But I'll tell you what, if it is going to be the end of the world, I'm going to take the path to Nemesis.
Nemesis?
I'm going to take that path either way. Relax, empty your mind, activate your senses, and immerse yourself in Path to Nemesis, a hypnotic adventure created with an infinite zoom. Walk the path, explore your mind, and recover all lost memories by solving dozens of imaginative puzzles. Will you be able to reach the end of the path?
Oh, who knows? But while you're on the path, please don't touch anything. PS4 Digital. Covering... Sorry.
I like it.
I know. It was such a good transition. I didn't want to laugh about it. Dang it. All right. Please don't touch anything. Covering for a colleague, you find yourself in front of a mysterious console with a green screen monitor showing a pixelated live image of an unknown city. Also present is an ominous red button with a simple instruction to not touch anything. Go ahead and press the button. You know you want to.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, reading that description, you made me quiver. Coming to PSVR. Quiver puts the power of the bow and arrow in your hands, tasked with defending your keep and the power within from an ever-advancing enemy. You will find yourself in a thrilling fight for your very survival. I think that's 4-player co-op in VR.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, if bows and arrows aren't your thing, pick up the pool cue and play Snooker 19, PS4 Digital Retail. This is the most authentic simulation of the sport ever created, probably because it's the only one. With TV-style presentation and a commentary, true-to-life physics, and advanced artificial intelligence, choose from offline and online modes, from quick-play online matchmaking to global online tournaments that link in real-time with the live World Snooker calendar. That's kind of cool that it links in with the calendar.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll tell you what, if that's not your thing and you want to step it up, go to Snooker Nation Championship. And I'm not actually going to read that one because you know what? It's more pool, people. It's the same thing. I promise you, the description's similar enough.
You gotta read it.
Challenge the best snooker players in the world to take home that all-important win. The offline tournament includes competing in the qualifiers through to the grand final, played on the championship specification tables, or challenge players online. Snooker Nation Championship is the digital snooker at its best.
Ooh,
its best. typos there.
Oh, at his best. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, from snooker tables to Table of Tales, The Crooked Crown, PSVR Digital, embark on a digital tabletop RPG, a virtual reality adventure of swashbuckling and sorcery. Take a seat at a mysterious table and unlock its true potential as a magical living board game. Take the helm and lead your party of scoundrels through realms of adventure, investigating the misdeeds of their pasts and facing up to terrible dangers. Cool.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
It sounds like, though, if you're going to do the Table of Tales, you might need a tarot reading. So tarot readings premium. The tarot reading is a pack of playing cards used in parallel for divination in the form of tarotology and cartomancy. Goodness. Our game makes you feel like you are visiting a real gypsy tarot reader. She will shuffle the cards.
Tarot reader.
She will shuffle the cards. Whoa, look out. Let you choose them and then present them and explain their meanings. All 78 cards are animated.
Wow. Fun times with animated cards. Also fun times in Truberbrook. PS4 digital retail out 4/17. Enjoy an adventurous vacation to the 1960s parallel universe. A thrilling sci-fi mystery adventure game that takes place at a remote village in rural Germany. You won the trip in a lottery, or at least that's how it seems. But instead of getting some rest, you can find yourself having to save the world. ...
Well, if that isn't enough for you, maybe you can take a trip on the World of Warships Legends. Experience epic naval action in World of Warships Legends, a global multiplayer, free-to-play online game where you can master the seas and history's greatest warships, recruit legendary commanders, upgrade your vessels, and stake your claim to naval supremacy. Early access starts today, April 12th at 12 a.m., so that was yesterday.
Wow.
So you can get that already.
If naval warships aren't your thing, how about World War Z? PS4 digital retail. Humanity is on the brink of extinction. From New York to Moscow and Jerusalem, the undead apocalypse continues to spread. As the end looms, a hardened few band together to defeat the horde and outlive the dead. World War Z is a heart-pounding co-op third-person shooter featuring swarms of hundreds of zombies.
Nice. Well, that's that. That's the drop.
Yeah.
Interesting week. I'm really interested in that VR game. I'm telling you right now, that's it's $20 too. It's totally worth it.
Yeah.
And then the other one that interests me because it has had no press, but it seems like it was shaping up to be okay, and I wonder if it's going to be garbage or not.
Yeah.
Is World War Z.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's going to do it. I was going to do some MetaQuip, but I think we'll save those for next week because we're running a little bit behind.
Yep.
But
Before we go, one real quick thing that popped up on my feed, I just happened to see. The Last of Us Part 2, Laura Bailey finishes performance capture. Ooh. As one of Neil Druckmann's quote-unquote favorite characters. So Neil Druckmann apparently praised her on Instagram and posted it along with a photo, I believe, of Bailey after presumably one of her last performance capture sessions for the game. Druckmann also captioned, "Thanks for helping to bring one of my favorite characters to life," and that Bailey crushed it. So performance capture could be done. Could be wrapping up with some of these characters. Ooh, what does that mean, folks? Does it mean Last of Us is coming soon?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
We'll find out, though.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah, please pass along your knowledge here. What do you think? I don't think it's going to be this year, but we'll see.
We will see.
Well, if you heard this all the way through and you like what you hear and you want to rate us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to us, give us a shout out on Twitter. We are 1UR2, or email us at weare1ur2@gmail.com. Let us know if you're changing your PSN name. If you're excited for Jedi: The Fallen Order, all that good stuff, just please hit us up. Let us know. We're excited to hear from you guys and chat with you and interact with you. And Matt, I think we're going to set up a Discord server so that we can chat with people in the future. If that's something you'd be interested in, let us know as well. And until next time, kids, game on.
Game on. Is the outro music, the World War Z zombie outro music break. things.
All right.
Good time.